Alright, so this is my review of Second X, Succubus Queen Lisbeth, and this is the tanned version. So I got this from Ami for about $130. I'll put the link up, and that's including shipping and everything. There was an earlier version of this character that was released with the pale skin variant. Anyway, so I'm not really familiar with this line. I just picked this up on a whim, honestly, and it was definitely an interesting line. You don't hear about it much. Yeah, so just going to do a quick review of this figure, and let's just start with the overall look. Alright, so they definitely nailed the anime look. Like, the eyes look stunning, very nicely done, and I really like the contrast of like kind of like the blonde hair, the darker skin. I think that's a cool look. Like, it's nice to have color contrast like that on any figure. Details, very crisp, I think. Sculpting is great. And yeah, it's definitely an outlandish character. Not sure if this is like a character from an anime or something, but it's got that kind of cliche demon look, which is, I like it. It's nice. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So no real complaints. Very clean design, and even got her horns and everything too. That's a very nice gold paint that they have on her crown. It's not like the cheap stuff. Yeah, so I think in terms of overall look, no complaints at all. I think she looks great. Yeah, so let's go over her articulation, and let's start the head. So they have something kind of interesting going on with the head here. It's kind of like her neck is on a swivel. You could probably see that there. And it's you'd think it's a ball joint in there, but if you see that carefully, they have another swivel just for the horizontal movement. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Uh, it does tend to kind of polarize the movement. Like, you can really just go up and down and side to side. But I mean, honestly, it's not terrible, but I'm not sure why they didn't just use a double ball peg. Maybe for sculpting reasons, but I still think a double ball peg would have been better here instead of what they have here. So it's not terrible. Hair does get in the way. At least it's a little bit flexible, so that's good. It's not going to like snap on you, but still be careful. Yeah. So her hair does definitely get in the way a bit, but not terribly. It does move out of the way when you need it to. Shoulders are on good old-fashioned swivels. I wish Figuarts would just kind of do something like this instead of the insane nonsense that they've been doing on like their One Piece figures, and it works. And I think it looks very nice and organic too. It doesn't look like a robot. Like, I think that's kind of like an organic look, even with that articulation. Yeah, and it just works so well. The swivels are great, I think. She does have a very nice elbow joint, I think. Well, I mean, you could. It's simple, but I don't mind it. Like, you could tell there's like a very obvious kind of like break there, but I think it's fine. She does have a bicep swivel, and typical setup on the wrist. Looks like just a swivel there. Yep. All right, and does have a very kind of old system going for the ab crunch. It's kind of like what you'd see on a Marvel Legends kind of. It's really just a swivel. And for what it's worth, it's a swivel, but then she has a very nice double ball joint in there, so that's very nice. Yeah, so I think it's great. And I mean, for obviously how massive her, chest is, she's doing it. Like, she's doing the ab crunch, so I think that's impressive. Other companies have no excuses. If she could do it with these in the way, you have no excuses. Yeah. So I mean, there's some kind of like primitive choices here, but I think overall it looks great. Like, I'm no real complaints. Let's go down to our leg articulation. It's kind of like the, what do you call it, snail shell. They do the same type of L-shaped double ball joint. It works. My only complaint is that they tend to slide apart when you try to get the figures to stand, and she's no exception. Like, her legs will just kind of buckle like that if you put any force on it. But I don't think it's you're not really getting too much benefit out of it, but it's not like something to really nag about. It works fine. And they did it better than Snail Shell here, I have to say. It's just easier to get her legs up and posed or whatever. So no real complaints. Very nice organic double knee joint, double bend on the knee. That is the thigh swivel in there, very nicely hidden. Okay, this is something like Loose Collectors was guilty of also. This ankle, it should really just be a peg. It should just be a peg going up into her calf and going in at an angle into her actual foot. So they got the second part right. Like, this ankle swivel is great, but this is very old-fashioned. A swivel here is very bad. Like, that's not great for articulation, because now you're going to have to kind of work the thigh joint to get her feet oriented with the floor, whereas it would have been easier with just like a peg going straight in there. All right, so overall, she's not terrible. And, you know, the big test of articulation is, like, can they stand? And yes, she can stand very well. So that's good. It's not hard at all to get her to stand. Yeah, very easy to get her to stand, so that's good. So articulation's fine, I think. You could get her in pretty much any stances you want. Like, her legs do go back like that. And she comes with the stand also, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, just talking about her build quality, this is where I have a very big gripe. So it's a shame because this figure looks excellent. I always like kind of like the dark skin on figures. I think it's different. Looks cool. Now, the big shame here is, so she does not feel like an action figure. It feels like she's hollow inside. And for some people, they don't care, but she's very, very lightweight. And, oh, actually, let's just do her measurements really quick. Just forgot. All right, so let's just start with the weight, since that's what I was harping on. And yeah, the weight proves it. So she's like 1.2 ounces. She's right along the size of other kind of like figure arts characters. Figmas, females are usually around this size. So she's very lightweight. And just for some perspective, you might see a figure arts or a Figma around her size. They'd probably weigh like 1.6, 1.5 ounces. So there's definitely a difference there, and you could kind of feel it. So I hate to say it, but she does feel kind of cheap, which is a damn shame, given how nicely they did the paint on her. So yeah, again, her height is right around figure arts, Figma level, like 5.5, 5 3/4 inch. So that's a damn shame. And for me, that's a huge thing, because she really feels like a cheap piece of crap for $130. You wouldn't think it because of how nicely they painted her with the satin finish and all that, but this is okay for a model kit that's like 40, 50 bucks. This is not okay for a $130 figure, which resells at like 300 plus. I've just, you know, browsed around on eBay for older figures that this company made. Would I get another figure like this? Absolutely not. It feels very cheap. It feels kind of, it honestly, it's annoying that you had to pay that much for something this kind of chintzy. So that's a shame. Okay, so that is what it is. But for people who don't care about the weight or how it feels in the hand, you're not going to care about this. So if you like the look of the figure, you're still getting your money's worth. Okay, so let's talk about our accessories, starting with the faces. And that's kind of, it's going to be an obvious one that comes with this figure. All right, so I don't think much has to be said about that. Here's the next one. Again, nothing needs to be said. And for what it's worth, very crisp designs. I will say the eyes, they kind of have like this, they're okay, but they have like this decal look, like something you would do on like a Gundam model kit or something. Like, they have that very, it looks like a kind of like a water slide decal, and looks a little cheap, honestly, like when I'm looking at it now, but not terrible. Okay. And I'll just show you the hands that she comes with. It's pretty generic stuff. So she only comes with 2 extra pairs, so get like these kind of open hands. You just peg them in like that. And she does come with kind of obligatory weave fingers. So you get those too. Nicely done. Okay, she does come with another accessory. I'm not going to show that here, but if you want to see the obvious, X-rated accessory, then just check the video, the unlisted video in the description, just because I'm not going to put it into the main video. But if you want to see that one, just take a look at the link below, and yeah, should be a quick one. Getting back to the review of this figure, if you had a look at the X-rated accessory, again, it's in the link below. That's about what she comes with, and I will mention that she does come with a pretty good stand, I'd say. And let me just show you that. So nicely made, and it just plugs into her back, so very simple to use. So you do get a stand there too. Okay, so with that being said, is this figure worth it in my opinion? I'd say no. I think it's a fun gimmick. It's like a nice little detour from your main collection, but would I recommend someone get this figure? Well, it depends. If you don't mind the heft of a figure, which to me is huge, because that's like a primary kind of trait of like a good quality figure versus a crappy one. If you care about that, then no, I'd say stay away from this. It's too expensive. They're using cheap materials for sure, and they just gussied it up with nice paint, very nice paint. If you don't care about that, I'd say it's okay. You're paying a premium on kind of like the niche that this figure falls into. It's not worth the price that it is, but it's not terribly egregious given the pricing of 112 figures these days. So that's my take on it. A little disappointed with this one. Well, very disappointed. I was expecting, with kind of like her build, I was expecting her to be, a heavyweight, and she's not. So that's my review. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. And thanks for watching. I'm going to be uploading more. Just very busy from, just, ordinary stuff that people get busy with, right? So I'm back, and look forward to more videos coming up. Thanks for watching. Take care.